Hey everyone, welcome to Ancient Archive Blueprints. We think we've got modern medicine all figured out, but what if I told you that a piece of engineering from 3,000 years ago is about to completely change how you see the ancient world? It's pretty incredible. And to kick things off, we're going to see what you already know with a little quiz. Ready?
All right, question number one. So when you think of the world's first prosthetic, what pops into your head? Probably a pirate's peg leg, right? Or maybe some kind of clunky metal hand from the Middle Ages. Well, the truth is, the world's very first functional prosthetic limb was way older, and honestly, a lot more sophisticated than you'd think.
So the answer? It's a bit of a surprise. It all comes down to this one artifact found on the foot of an ancient Egyptian noblewoman. And no, we're not talking about a whole leg or an arm here. It was something much smaller, much more detailed, which of course leads us to our next question.
Okay, get ready to lock in your answer. Just how old are we talking here for this piece of medical tech? Is it A, 500 years old, so, around the Renaissance, B, 1,500 years old, maybe from the Roman Empire, or is it C, a mind-blowing 3,000 years old? Take your pick.
And the answer is C. If you guessed C, you are absolutely right. We are talking about something made almost 3,000 years ago. Just to put that into perspective for you, that's nearly 1,000 years before the city of Rome was even a thing. That's just wild.
And to really grasp how ridiculously advanced this was, just look at this timeline. The next big prosthetic we know about is the capule leg from Roman times. But get this, it was purely cosmetic. It didn't bend, it didn't help you walk, it was just for show. After that, you have to jump forward another 2,500 years before you see truly functional devices pop up in Europe. I mean, the Egyptians were just on another level, centuries ahead of everybody else.
So, that brings us to the biggest question of all, right? Was this thing just for looks? Maybe something to make sure the body was complete for the afterlife, which we know the Egyptians cared a lot about. Or was it a real working medical device, something engineered to be used every single day?
And that difference is absolutely crucial. A cosmetic piece is just a solid block. It's rigid. It's for appearances only. But the Cairo toe, it was articulated. It had a moving part, a hinge. It was designed from the ground up, not just to look like a toe, but to actually work like one.
So how do we know for sure that it was used? Well, the evidence is just undeniable. First off, it wasn't a one-size-fits-all deal. It was custom molded to her foot, a perfect ergonomic fit. Second, you can see the wear and tear on it, right in the places you'd expect from someone walking on it for years. And maybe coolest of all, it was designed to be worn with their traditional sandals. This wasn't some museum piece for a tomb, this was part of her daily life.
So yeah, this thing was way more than just a replacement part. It was a tiny masterpiece of biomechanical engineering. And it tells us that the goal wasn't about the afterlife. It was about improving a person's life, right here, right now. So let's actually break down how this incredible blueprint worked.
Now, today, we think of prosthetics, and we picture carbon fiber, titanium, advanced plastics, right? But this was made out of two simple things, wood and leather. That's it. And it's such a powerful reminder that brilliant engineering isn't about having the fanciest materials. It's about having a deep, profound understanding of the problem you're trying to solve. The design is just genius. Let's walk through it. First, you have the anchor. That custom fit we talked about. It wasn't just for comfort. It kept the whole thing from slipping. Then you've got the hinge, a simple leather joint that allowed it to bend, to flex, just like a real toe. But here's the real game changer, the pivot. It was shaped perfectly to mimic the push-off you do with your big toe when you walk. That push is absolutely essential for a normal, stable walk. This wasn't just a substitute. It was a true functional replica.
Okay, so it's a cool piece of history, for sure. But why does a 3,000-year-old toe really matter to us today? Well, because the story behind it, it's about something timeless. It's a story about empathy, about human ingenuity, and really about a deep respect for a person's quality of life. It's so easy to think of the ancient Egyptians as being completely obsessed with death and the afterlife, all pyramids and mummies. But this toe, it proves they were just as committed to solving real-world problems for the living. They were dedicated to helping someone with a disability right here in the present, and they did it with what's been called ergonomic precision. I just love that phrase. So, I want to leave you with a final thought to chew on. If engineers 3,000 years ago could tackle such a complex physical disability and do it with so much care and empathy, using just wood and leather, it kind of makes you wonder, right? What massive problems could we be solving today if we brought that same elegant, human-centered design to the table?
And that's our blueprint for today. This has been Ancient Archive Blueprints, where we dig up ancient brilliance and serve it up bite-sized.
If you loved digging into this story and you want to unlock more incredible blueprints from our shared past, do us a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you can join us for the next one. Thanks so much for watching.